Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. It's beautiful out today and light bit of frost coming off the trees, and it's 8 degrees here in the greenhouse, so absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day. So I thought I'd bring you out here, enjoy a little bit of sunshine in my sheltered greenhouse space here, and talk about the flowers I'm going to be growing in February. Thanks for following along with me and always coming back to see what's growing in my space. And if you're interested in growing some of the same things that I'm growing when I'm growing them, this will be your opportunity to get prepared, I guess. So I garden in Saskatchewan, Canada. My gardening zone is technically 3B, kind of moving into a 4, but I don't know, after this past winter, I'm not sure that's going to stick. So I start most of my vegetables and flowers indoors and plant them out as soon as we are past our average last frost time, or at the appropriate time for those plants. Some can go out earlier. So a lot of the plants that I grow in February are plants that are very cold tolerant, and many of them can be planted outside before my average last frost date. So let's have a look at what I'll be growing. I always make myself a little calendar so you can have a quick little shot of it there. Hopefully you can read it. And this is just my planting schedule. I don't follow it to a T, but I try to stay on schedule. If you could see the numbers along the sides of the weeks there, that is how many weeks away from my average last frost that week is. So the first week of February here is 14 weeks before my average last frost date. So got a little ways to go yet. So not a ton to be planted in February, but there is some things, especially with flowers and ornamentals, that can be going. So I am going to do some winter sowing this year. That is my plan. I haven't had enormous success with it in the past, but for things like native plants and really cold tolerant plants, perennial plants, those are all great things to start in winter sowing. And because I have my greenhouse out here now and I come out here a lot, I think I'll be better able to care for my winter sown plants. So I thought I'd give it another try instead of just sticking them out, having them get covered with snow and forgetting about them until spring. I thought this might be a better chance this year. So in the first week of February, I'll be winter sowing some prairie drop seed, heartleaf Alexander, prairie crocus, hairy golden aster, prairie coneflower, tufted fleabane, Lindley's aster. I'm going to be sowing some Asclepias that I've saved the seeds from off of my own plants, which were labeled Cinderella. So I have some Asclepias Cinderella. If you don't know, that is like a milkweed plant, or some people might call it like a butterfly plant, or it attracts monarch butterflies. They love it. It's a nice pink flower. And then some anise hyssop, some blue mountain mint, and a little bit more little blue stem. So I started little blue stem for the first time last year, and I've really liked the look of it out in my yard. I'll try and get you a photo. They're just very small plants this year, but they're sticking up above the snow, and they're looking really nice. They have just almost like a bronzy coppery color that looks really nice in the winter landscape. I can't wait till they get a bit bigger. I think I've grown all of these plants in the past from seed, but this year I'm going to get them all going with winter sowing. So that'll be fun to share with you when I get that done. So I just have all my native plants, which will contain most or all of those in this little container here. So I'll just pop those out and I'm ready to go, and I know exactly what plants I want to put in for my winter sowing. So nice and organized to get the seeding off right. Then my next little container here, I have labeled February. So these are my February seeds. Of course, there's going to be some in here that I've had other years. I'm not growing this year, but mostly anything in here is getting sown. And you can see it's not super full. So starting in the kind of the second full week of February, I will sow some dianthus and some angelonia. So those are both plants that can take quite a while to get going, and they can take some cooler temperatures so they can get out right around my average last frost date, or even a little bit before sometimes, depending on what the weather's like. The week after that, I'll be looking at foxgloves and pansies. I have, I think, 4 varieties of pansies that I'm going to be starting, and foxgloves. All of those plants are quite cold tolerant, especially the pansies. So I like to start them a little bit earlier and get them out just that much sooner, and hopefully do up a few you know, pot container ideas and things before my average last frost date, so that I can just enjoy a little bit of color when the nights are maybe still getting quite cold, but the days usually in our area are quite warm and beautiful. So it's nice to have some of those flowers with the pansies that I can have out. The last week in February, I'll be sowing my mimulus. It's a cute little flower. I think a common name for it is monkey flower. Very nice little flower that works well, I believe, in shade and damp areas as well as sunny areas. So a little more adaptive to your garden needs. A Dusty Miller, did I say that? Dusty Miller is another one like the pansies that can be started early and then put out before your average last frost, just to give you a little bit of interest in maybe some pot displays outside. I'll also be planting my lobelia. I find it takes a long time to get going, and it's nice to get it planted up nice and early so I have nice plants to work with when the time comes. The final thing that I will be getting going in February is my ranunculus. So right now my ranunculus corms are just hanging in a mesh bag in a cool area under the stairs, and at the end of February I will be popping those out of that mesh bag, and I'll be going through the process of starting to force them, because they are, again, a more cold tolerant plant. They don't really love the hot days of summer, and so you want to get them started early and get them out early so that you can be enjoying them right around that average last frost date time. They can be outside. So when the time comes for all of these plants, I'll try and bring you through planting all of them, and we can see how they grow together as the season progresses. So thanks for hanging out with me today and learning about what I'm going to be planting in February, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.